Oh, yeah, more war with Iran stuff. Man, you guys have just got to be doing great. Let's check that out. Oh no, Trump's not gonna fire back? You guys isn't. Oh no, down more. Is you guys ever gonna recover? Before we get into the talk about where I believe natural gas is going, because you best believe we're going to be talking about my opinions, checking out the charts. I'm going to give you my take and everything a little bit later on in the video. But where do you think natural gas is going? Do you think it's going to go up? Do you think it's going to go down? What is your opinion on natural gas? I'd love to know down below. I want to get your thesis, get your take, and we can have a little conversation. Other people can chime in as well. Leave a comment down below. I'd love it. Hey guys, welcome back to Young Money Investments. In today's slightly comical video, we are going to be talking about UGAZ. We're going to be talking about the possibility of it coming back. What is causing it mainly? I think it's so important to be fundamentally rooted in the reasons for why natural gas is so low right now, especially the ETF, UGAZ, which if you clicked on this, you're either wanting to get into it or you've been stuck in it, trapped in it, as it has continued to slide down the abominable pit to nowhere. So you're probably wondering, why do you want to stick around for this whole video? Well, we're going to talk about how warmer weather definitely affects it, climate change a little bit, little talk about that. We're going to be talking about how the Iran conflict has definitely affected it, and we need to really cover the biggest elephant in the room, and that is the US fracking and how the US producing a lot of natural gas is affecting this. We're going to get into some more of the finite details because just knowing the overall reasons doesn't really help you understand if you should get in or get out, or what do you do. So let's start with number one, warmer weather. Like I said, warmer weather is definitely one of the biggest reasons. Obviously, if there is warmer weather and people are using less natural gas, there is less of a demand for it. Less demand equals less of a price for it. They still got to sell it, they're still producing it, so you got to sell it for cheaper, but you continue to pump out and keep putting it out. So warmer weather has played a factor. I think that is one of those things that with this current winter, specifically talking about this winter in the United States, it's been fairly mild. There has not really been a ton of storms. Yes, we've had storms like around holidays, ironically enough, but it's been a warmer winter, and so because of that, that is kind of leading to the fact that you guys really hasn't gained any traction or momentum. I mean, literally, we're trading at prices like we were at in the summertime. Just as a reference point here on the chart here on TDA's Thinkorswim, we have /NG, and as you can see right here that we're talking late July, early August. I mean, we're talking about levels that are basically in line with summertime temperatures, and you got to go, okay, that's not even a decaying ETF. That's just literally just price of natural gas. And then let's take a look at you guys. And this is why you're not making money. I mean, the same time frame, here we are, 729 to 85. We're talking about a price difference of nearly 42%. So over 40%, that's just a rough estimate. We're talking about a 40% decline in prices for natural gas compared to what they were, like I said, back in late July, early August, in relation to the share price of UGAZ, this decaying ETF. And without going into a lot of detail, obviously, one of the things with trading these ETFs, these 3x leveraged ETFs, is they are not a good vehicle to invest capital in long term. They're good to play the spikes, they're good to play the momentum, they're good to play the movement, but they are not a good long-term investment because as these get rebalanced on a nightly basis compared to the price of NG futures or natural gas futures, the value even of Dgaz as well does tend to go down. So you're not making more and more money. You can make money on a daily basis and even on, in rare circumstances, holding it for several days. But man, it's not looking super good. Now, what is the number one reason why UGAZ is where it is right now? Well, it's due to US fracking. So just to basically give you a little idea of what fracking is, you can see obviously there's water acquisition, there is a chemical mixing, they put a chemical mixture in, there is flowback and all these things. But basically what happens in the way they produce or extract natural gas from the earth is they drill down. Usually the average well depth is somewhere around, I want to say 75 or 7,700 feet. So over 7,000, between 7 and 8,000 feet below the surface of the earth. They drill through all these layers and they get down here and then they drill a horizontal, basically pipe. They drill it down and they go horizontally. Now, why do they go horizontally? They start to drill out little sections of this area and they force in fracking fuel. So they take this chemical mixture and they highly pressurize this sludge, this mixture, and they force it down in here. Well, when they push and expand it into this area, it obviously pushes into the earth, and then it pulls out the natural gas deposits of, well, fuel that we use to power and heat our homes, etc., etc. So that is essentially the process of how natural gas is extracted from the earth, and this is something that Donald Trump has been a very big supporter of. He always is preaching energy independence for the United States, and I will say this caveat: while we are almost, if not literally, at the point of energy independence here in the United States, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it is good for American citizens. I can't disagree with anyone on that. But I will say this: the world is a global economy in today's day and age, and with the way that travel works and everything like that, if the price in Iran changes, or if they stop producing oil in the Middle East, there's going to be other people that are consuming natural gas and oil over there, and they're going to call the United States, drillers, and they're going to say, hey, we'll pay you more than what you're getting in the United States. And so, no matter what, even though, yes, we can supply and, be a net exporter of, of energy, there's still, at the end of the day, the global supply chain. I think that's really important to know and understand. And talking about understanding, it's important to take a look at this article. As it says, U.S. natural gas demand is at a record and prices keep dropping. This was all the way back on August 8th, 2019 as well. So for a quick reference, as it says right here in the article, it says U.S. gas futures this week collapsed to a 3-year low, while spot prices were on track to post their weakest summer in 20 years. In other markets, such lackluster pricing would cause investment to retrench and supply to contract. But gas production is at a record high and expected to keep growing. Demand is rising as the power generators shut coal plants and burn more gas for electricity, as rapidly expanding liquefied natural gas LNG terminals turn more of the fuel into supercooled liquid for export. Now, one of the most important things here in the article, I believe, is as it says right here. Analysts believe the natural gas market is not trading on demand fundamentals because supply growth continues to far outpace rising consumption. Energy firms are pulling record amounts of oil from shale formations, and with that oil comes associated gas that needs either to be shipped or burned off. So needless to say, the biggest reason why you're seeing UGAZ down so low and natural gas in general being so low is that we are producing so much oil, and with oil comes natural gas. As they need oil, they're producing a lot of natural gas, and it's being cheaply supplied, and so there's not enough demand to keep up with the supply that is coming out of everywhere in the world that produces oil. So let's take a look at the charts, and I can explain a few things fundamentally and what would lead me to either want to buy or sell, or just do something with natural gas. So taking a look here at the chart for the 3-year chart, this is the 3-year chart of natural gas. We can see obviously we had definitely last winter where we had this massive explosion of demand. The supply was not there and it cranked up. Now obviously we are going through a cyclical stage where the production is definitely ramped up. We've not had the consumption that has been needed, and I think this was really the main reason why right now we are seeing oil prices, oil and natural gas prices so low. I mean, natural gas prices it takes a while, like honestly and truly guys, to get the process going, the production, the supply chain. Like, it takes so much to get from point A in the ground to point like A, B, C, D, E, F, G down the road to where you finally get your natural gas. And so it took a while to ramp up production and everything, and we're finally a year later starting to see that overproduction of people back a year ago going, oh my gosh, there's not enough supply and prices just freaking shot up. Now with that being said, does that mean that I'm just a buyer down here of natural gas? No, and I don't think that anyone really should be. You had no idea we're in uncharted territories if you were even to take this chart here and go to a 10-year chart. I mean, a 10-year chart is huge. We are down here at lows, I believe, if I remember from everything I've read and learned, we are at 20-year lows right now on natural gas. And is that concerning? Absolutely. That definitely is concerning when you look at that. Do you go, well, do you buy the dip? It's possible to buy the dip, but why would you buy the dip when you know that there is going to continue to be a lot of exportation and a lot of production of natural gas here now in the right now time, and most likely in the future. Natural gas is one of the cleaner burning fossil fuels. It doesn't leave nearly as much of the emissions that a lot of things like oil does. Coal is obviously not a very good fossil fuel because of the pollutants that it puts out. Natural gas is one of those. They can do natural gas power plants. They use natural gas obviously to heat homes, etc., etc. So natural gas is one of those more cleaning burning fossil fuels, and so the production isn't just all of a sudden miraculously going to stop, but there's also most likely not going to be any drastic increase in demand for natural gas, especially considering we're right now in the middle stage almost. We're almost to the middle stage of January here, and this is supposed to be the coldest time of the year. Forecasters obviously aren't always perfect, but there's no real, big demand or anything like that that should spur the idea that natural gas is going to skyrocket. Now, one thing that would have potentially caused a spike in the futures of natural gas as well as ETFs would have been a geopolitical situation between the United States and Iran. And that's because obviously that would cut down the amount of supply that was in the markets, and thus demand would stay the same, making the price of the overall product more expensive. But as of right now, as of today, there is no continuing escalation that should be going on. It's looking as if the situation is going to kind of resolve itself in terms of there won't be an all-out war. That's a good thing for everybody. But at the end of the day, my overall opinion, my overall prediction for natural gas is this: it's not a good time to get in. It's not a great place to really be trading it, especially ETFs that are leveraged like that with decaying value. It really isn't a good time because you don't know where the bounce is going to happen. And so I personally, my personal take, and again, this is just a personal feeling, this is not me conveying trade advice, I would definitely not be getting into it. And I think if I was at that point right now in my account, I would most likely just be cutting and taking my losses. There's nothing in the interim that I see that will just increase and get you back a lot of your losses that you have in UGAZ if you've been in it for a while. I know it's not the most optimistic or like good outlook, that I could provide, but I think that's the reality of the situation. And again, I could be totally wrong, but based on my current knowledge that I have right now, that's my opinion on it. So I'd love to get your take down in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen with UGAZ? What do you think is going to happen with Dgaz? Do you think we're going to continue to see some fluctuations? Do you think it's just due, it's so low that we're due for a push up on natural gas? And do you think futures are going to rise? Do you think UGAZ is going to go up? I'd love to know. Please leave your comments down below. I love having a little interaction with you guys. If you're interested in my private mentorship, you'd like a little bit more one-on-one experience with me as well as some of the other members in there, the link to my private mentorship is down there in the description below. We're going to do a giveaway again. I don't know which video this month. We're going to do another giveaway to get another member in Young Money Investments in the private mentorship group. So I'll do that here soon. If you want to do something like that, leave me a comment about that down below as well, and I will catch you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.